Greetings YouTube, this is Toy Customizer Wakeangel2K1 bringing you a review of Transformers Prime First Edition Starscream. Those little noises you hear are my dog. He decided to come keep me company whilst I record this video. Alright, the First Edition Starscream is a deluxe class figure, and I had it sent to me from Canada by my good loyal fan Anonymous Lemons, because you can't get these in American retailers anymore. And there are two very distinct nitpicky reasons why I did not add the First Edition Starscream to my Transformers collection when he was available very briefly at retail here in the States. And when I say them, you're going to think that I'm silly, but such is the logic of a fanboy. Nitpick the first is the particular type of airplane that they decided to make him in Transformers Prime. He's an F-16. Now, I got nothing against F-16s. I think that they look really nice, but there is just one thing that kinda departs from what I envision Starscream having to look like. For that, let's see Thundercracker. Thundercracker is a blue repaint of the classic Starscream mold. So this is pretty much what Starscream looked like in the G1, and I think he also had the same vehicle form in the Armada cartoon. It's an F-15. If you remember the Transformers animated cartoon, he was kind of a forward swept wing Harrier dealie. I don't have that exact toy on me here, but this is something similar to what it looked like. Not exact, but somewhat like this. And as you recall in the movies, movie Starscream was an F-22 Raptor. Now there's a reason why I'm bringing out all these planes and showing you them side by side. It's because they all have one distinct feature in common. They all have two tail fins. I don't know why, but to me it just doesn't really ring true as Starscream when the alt mode only has one tail fin. I know it's kind of a really weird reason to think that this can't be Starscream, but that's just like my reptilian hindbrain having a knee-jerk reaction. I love the way that Starscream is portrayed in the Transformers Prime cartoon. He acts like Starscream. There's no question about that. He is characterized wonderfully, but his alt mode as an F-16 just doesn't quite hit me as true. Alright, but aside from my perceptions of how it fits, how is the plane itself? Well, it's an F-16, and it's pretty good. It doesn't really have too much kibble. There's a little bit of a hole here in the tail. Also, you can kind of see the feet folded up there. And it has weird landing gear. It has two little nubs here on the back and one little nub here on the front. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, there's no obvious real robot kibble sticking out. Like that's obviously his hips and crotch, but you know, it's molded to look like the jet intake that goes underneath the cockpit, so it's not too kibbly. The problem is that it's very gappy. See, you can see big gaping holes all over the place on this guy. Unless it's being backlit by my lamp, so let's turn the lamp around for more optimal lighting conditions. So you can see just a lot of gaps. See, it looks very holy. Yeah. So he has gaps, but aside from that, no real kibble. Kind of looks like it's a little bit too busy back here. Like the afterburn from the jet engine would kind of burn these bits. But yeah. Also, the tail fins are kind of really small. I mean, I'm not sure how an F-16 actually is, but I don't know, it seems to me that these should be a little bit bigger. But let's move on. Do you notice something strange here? These are both deluxe class figures, yet Starscream is positively tiny in vehicle mode. He's very small. I mean, here's Ransack. Ransack is a scout. Ransack is almost as big as Starscream is. A scout is almost as big as a deluxe, which is dwarfed by another deluxe, which is supposed to be essentially the same character. Of course, I think that Hasbro purposely made Starscream this tiny so that to get some kind of gawk factor on his robot mode, which I will be showing you right now. The transformation is very fiddly and difficult to do, very complex, so I'm not going to do it on the camera. And wow, is that an amazing robot mode or what? There are no gimmicks on this figure, that is, no firing missiles or anything like that. And you know what, I'm perfectly okay with that, because they used the money that they would have put into firing missiles and used it to give him so many wonderful points of articulation. He has like this here and this here and that, and his legs can do that and that and that, and he can bow, and he can put his hands behind his back in a very subtle and convincing way, like you'd expect a soldier at ease to stand. Like this guy can take on subtle poses, and that's awesome. And remember how I was saying his vehicle mode was so small when you compared him to other deluxes? Well, who are you calling small again? He is like a solid inch taller than the classic Starscream mold in robot form. In fact, if you include the wings, he's like a solid 3 inches taller. It still boggles my mind to this day how they managed to cram so much robot into such a tiny jet. And moving him out of the way for now. Yes, I'm going to have a hard time standing this guy because his feet are relatively small. He has a relatively high center of gravity because he's so tall, and because I'm on my bed. In fact, as you can see, I'm using my 3DS as a makeshift stage, so he has a more stable platform to stand on. And we come to the second reason why I couldn't accept this as my Starscream. His colors. I mean, Starscream is supposed to be colors like red and white. He's very bright and vibrant. This guy is done up in silvers and grays, and he reminds me of movie Starscream. They got the color scheme from the movie. Stand by for an incoming rant about everything I hate about the movie version of Starscream.
I can almost live with the crazy leg and hip design of the thing, but everything above the waist just makes my blood boil. I mean, it is way too broad and way too flat. I mean, despite how wide his shoulders are, I think this give even Rob Liefeld nightmares in horrible character design. He's very flat. He is a kite. He is a kite with arms and legs sticking out of it. I mean, those ridiculous shoulders are so far apart from each other, and his arms just look really stupid, just sticking out so far. It's like can you even cross your hands, you idiot? I mean, no, that's just terrible. And despite what Kite Scream here it looks like, you can't even get anything from the face, because he doesn't have one. He has two beady, slitted eyes and some weird beak thing going on. He kind of looks like somebody just put googly eyes and a bird beak on one of those Nazi helmets from World War II. He is ugly. There is not a single thing about this character design that I like, and the only nice thing I can say about it is that it's not quite as ugly as the Revenge of the Fallen versions of Arcee, Chromia, and Elita 1. This design sucks.
Okay, sorry you had to hear all that. It's just that I really, really hated how Starscream looked in the movies. And even if it's just his color scheme, again, my reptilian hindbrain was filled with revulsion when I look upon this. I mean, thank goodness that he acts so much like Starscream in the show that I don't have to worry about his colors distracting me too much. But, why couldn't they make him red? Starscream is red. He is not silver and gray. Little quirks about this robot mode is that every time I look at him, I feel like I'm looking at Gurren Lagann. Let's zoom into that chest plate. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna put up a quick picture. Did you see? These two red spots on his chest look like eyes, and then these things look like a big open mouth. He looks like a gunman from Gurren Lagann. I mean, you could just have somebody. I'm half expecting this to open up and Kamino will come out here and tell everyone that the rap is a man's soul, or you know, his drill is the drill that will pierce the heaven itself, and da 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 da. I am Kamina Starscream, or maybe Viral. I feel like this looks more like Viral's mech than Gurren Lagann itself, but still, face, extra head on top, face in the chest, head on top, still the look. I'm just getting overly silly in this. So I think I should explain to you why I decided to get Starscream, despite the fact that there were two fairly deal-breaking flaws in how I perceive of him. And that is because I saw the Transformers Collectors Club preview update thingy. They showed a bunch of pictures of figures that they would be releasing soon for the Transformers Collectors Club, and one of them was a Slipstream, which would basically be the first edition Prime Starscream mold with a slightly modded head in new colors. You remember Slipstream? She is the female Seeker, and besides the Generations Arcee and the forthcoming Arachnid in the Robots in Disguise Prime line, she's one of the characters that I wanted to figure out more than any other, because as you know, I love female robots. Of course, in order to get her, I'd have to join the Transformers Collector Club, meaning I'd probably have to buy a paid membership or subscription, which would cost money, and then as a collectible, the figure would be more expensive than usual, which means more money, and I would be getting, and there would be incentive to buy a bunch of other figures that I don't really want because they're not Slipstream. So I figured, you know what? I'm Toy Customizer Wakeangel2K1. I know people in Canada who can send me a first edition Starscream, and I am going to make my own Slipstream. So that's what I got him for. To make him into a woman. What? Yeah. So, I'm not going to make him right away into Slipstream because I got a lot of commissions to do, but some of you might be interested in knowing that that's where I'm taking this. So yes, Starscream from Transformers Prime, first edition. He is freaking awesome. If you don't mind the fact that he is gray and silver, then by all means, add him to your collection.